Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent. A goal joining you on Friday, 2 days away from Arsenal returning to Premier League action with that game against Watford at the Emirates. 2 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. Looking forward to that, hoping, fingers crossed, to see Arsenal make it 10 games unbeaten in all competitions. Hopefully pick up another 3 points and move closer towards those top 4 spots, because they are not far off them right now, thanks to this excellent run they've been on in September and October. We are in November now, the dreaded month of November when it comes to Arsenal. Fingers crossed that November curse stays away this season. I only got 3 league games in it, actually. In fact, I only got 3 games in it at all, and 2 of those are at home against Watford and Newcastle, so you'd hope Arsenal might be able to navigate those fairly comfortably, he says, touch wood, without too many issues. Obviously, in the middle of that, you got that horrible looking trip to Anfield in between. But if you win the 2 home games, then hopefully that gives you a little bit of freedom to, I don't know, just kind of move that game against Liverpool out the back of our minds, because I think we all know what normally happens anyway when Arsenal go up to Anfield. But anyway, yeah, big opportunity on Sunday to pick up 3 more points. Mikel Arteta has been speaking about that game at this morning's press conference, 8:15 a.m. today's press conference. Ugh, what on earth was that about? But anyway, I thought I'd pop on and talk about what Mikel had to say, and the big news around it really was involving Kieran Tierney, and that he could well be available, which obviously will be a big boost for Arsenal. He's missed the last few games with this ankle issue. But to be fair, and I think I said this in the last video, he hasn't really been missed. And I think that's the biggest compliment you can pay Nuno Tavares, because you think back to last season, you think whenever Tierney was out, it was just such a disaster for Arsenal. They just couldn't cover for him. You had was it Granit Xhaka moving across to the sort of left side at times. You had Cedric Suarez playing out of position at left back when Kolasinac was here, but Arteta just didn't fancy him, even shipped him out on loan in January. And so it was a really, really big issue for Arsenal whenever Tierney wasn't available. But this season, it just hasn't been. Nuno has come in, he's done exactly what he was signed for. He's provided really good cover for Tierney, and looks like he's going to provide really good competition for Tierney, which is hopefully going to take Tierney to another level when he does come back fit. And I just wouldn't rush Tierney back for this one, even if he is fit. And this is what Mikel had to say. He said, Kieran's been training the last 2 days. He's feeling much better, so hopefully he will be available. Let's see in the next 2 training sessions how he's feeling. He's done bits with the team, but he's not fully trained yet. So in the next 2 days, we will see how he is and where his fitness is. But like I said, I just wouldn't really rush him back for this one because of the way Nuno's been playing. And you would think Watford at home hopefully aren't going to cause Arsenal too many problems, he says, having Watford scored 5 on their last away trip in the Premier League. And you do know how Watford are going to play, and they've got some real pace to burn in that attack, especially with Ismail Assar. So Arsenal will have to watch out for that counter-attack of Watford. But still, it doesn't feel like a game you really have to rush Tierney back for. Now, they go to Anfield, obviously, after the international break, and that is perhaps more of one that you'd want Tierney back for that one, I think, against the likes of Salah and that sort of thing. You kind of want some experience in that one, and Nuno, it might be a difficult afternoon for him. But against Watford, I just wouldn't rush him back. He's going to go away with Scotland during the international break. He's been called up by Steve Clarke, and there's 2 games for Scotland, 2 really big games, and I think he'll definitely play those matches because of how important they are to Scotland. And so I just wouldn't be taking any risks with him if he's not 100% fit. I'd definitely keep Tavares in the team for this one. I think he deserves it anyway because he's been so good. He doesn't need to necessarily come straight out the side as soon as Tierney is available. So whilst it is really good news and it's a big boost to Arsenal to have Tierney back, because we know how important he is, we know he's one of the key players in this team, I just don't think it's necessary to take any risks with him. So get him on the bench, maybe give him 20 minutes or so at the end to get him back in, get some minutes under his belt before he goes away with Scotland. But I think for Tavares, he deserves to keep his spot in the team, and for Tierney, it'd be best just to ease him back into action. But anyway, look, it's really, really good news. And let me know what you think. Should Tierney start on Sunday? Is that what you think Arteta should do? Or do you agree with me and think that Tavares probably deserves at least one more game in the side, given how he's performed, certainly against Villa and Leicester, where I think he's been really, really good. He hasn't let anyone down. And attacking-wise, he gives Arsenal real dimension down that left-hand side. And maybe he hasn't been tested massively defensively, but when he has, he's made no mistakes so far, and so that is a really, really good thing. And he warrants his place in the team, as far as I'm concerned. So that's what Mikel had to say about Kieran Tierney and the latest on the Scotland left-back's injury. A couple of other interesting points I thought on during the press conference. I thought Arteta was good on Emile Smith Rowe's England snub, which I would call... would I call it a snub? I would call it a snub, really, because I think, Gareth Southgate always says that he wants to pick players who are in form, and I don't think you can really argue that there's many players in better form in those attacking areas than Emile Smith Rowe. Yes, there's lots of competition in that England squad, and yes, Gareth Southgate has his favourites in that squad, and they're all very, very good players when you go through them. And I include Bukayo Saka in that, and Saka's in England squad, but I would argue out of the two players between now and the start of the season, Smith Rowe's been in better form than Bukayo Saka. So if you're going purely based on form, you'd say that Smith Rowe deserves his place in the squad ahead of Saka, but it doesn't work like that. We know it doesn't. Southgate's got his favourites, and he's got people he trusts who have not let him down before, so you can understand they're going to be in the squad. But I still think Smith Rowe would feel justified in being a little bit disappointed that he hasn't made it this in this squad. I would certainly say that of Ben White, by the way. I can't believe Ben White's not in the England squad, how he's not there. And yeah, Tyrone Mings is in it, who's not even been playing that regularly for Aston Villa this season. John Stones, who can barely get a game for Manchester City. How Ben White's not in it, given the form he's shown since he's come to Arsenal, when he's been playing week in, week out since the international break, over the last 2 months, and he's been playing so well. I think he should absolutely 100% been in the England squad. Like I say, I can kind of understand it a little bit about Smith Rowe, but Ben White, that's really baffled me. But on Smith Rowe's England omission, I thought Mikel Arteta spoke a lot of sense, and he was really good. He said, I think he should be happy if people are gutted about him not being selected, or people are questioning any decision, because that tells you the level that he's playing at. Like anything that's happened in Emile's career, it will come when it's at the right moment, because we don't know if it is the right moment. Gareth knows much better than us how to judge what he thinks about the role that Emile could have in that team, and if he's decided that it's not the right moment, I'm sure it's a very thoughtful process and the right decision. So good comments there, I thought, from Arteta, and I think he's absolutely right in terms of saying that Smith Rowe should be happy that people are gutted that he's not involved, because that's just showing how good he is. If most people think you should be in the squad, that's a good sign in terms of how you're playing and what you are delivering on the pitch week in, week out for Arsenal. And England would be a bonus for Smith Rowe, but the main thing for him is just to keep performing the way he is doing for Arsenal. If he keeps doing that, then he will get his chance, even if it isn't right now. And I think he's had such a good season. Smith Rowe, I think the one thing we wanted for him, wasn't it, was to sort of add an extra little bit of end product from last season, get those numbers up, score more goals, get more assists. And when you're looking at his goals output, I think it's been really impressive so far. He's popping up in the box, he's contributing like we know he can do. And if Arsenal are going to have a good season this season, they need other players to chip in with goals. And Smith Rowe's certainly doing that. I think he's second top goal scorer now, behind Aubameyang, and so fair play to him. Fingers crossed, long may that continue, especially as he's in my fancy team and he's getting me loads of points at the moment. So God bless you, Emile. 100th game for Mikel today. At the weekend, as Arsenal manager, fair play to him. Been one hell of a journey, as he said himself. Incredible and big journey, he says. A lot has happened, not only at this football club, but around the world. That obviously has had a huge impact in everything we have lived in the last 2 years. But I'm so privileged to be where I am, and I'm really enjoying the opportunity and the challenge that we have ahead. Safe to say it's been a tumultuous journey for Mikel Arteta. Arrived, went straight into a pandemic, caught COVID, came back out, had to completely rejig the squad, had some horrible results on the pitch, is only now beginning to really, fingers crossed, touch wood, show what he can do. Now he's got his, what you would say is very much close to being his team. It's been a bit of a roller coaster for Mikel Arteta since he's arrived. And I don't think that's purely down to him. I think it's also because of what's been going on behind the scenes at Arsenal. There's been such huge changes. It's been really difficult. Like I said, the pandemic. But you're hoping now it's just beginning to settle down. We're beginning to see Mikel Arteta's team. He's not changing much. He doesn't need to change much. This pretty much can pick the starting 11 at the moment if everyone is fit, which is good. There's a continuity there. Partnerships are building. A spine is building. And you would hope that there's been so much turbulence during the first 100 games. If Mikel stays for another 100, these ones are going to be a lot smoother, and it's going to be a lot more easy going, and hopefully we're going to see results continue to go the way they are going at the moment. Okay, let's just team news wise. Before, I've obviously spoken about Kieran Tierney, and other than that, there's not really any issue. We know Granit Xhaka is out long term, but providing no one else has broken down in training or anything like that, it's just really looking at Xhaka being out and Tierney being 50-50 for the game. Xhaka, latest on him is still that he's due to return to full training at the start of next year, so we're probably about 2 months away from that. Sambi Lokonga is playing absolutely fantastically so far. Certainly in the last couple of games, him and Thomas Partey have formed a decent little partnership there. And I expect that to continue this weekend against Watford as well. I'll get to my predicted 11 in a minute. So other than that, team news wise is looking really, really solid for Arsenal, barring anything happening in training or anything that they're keeping under wraps. It's just really Xhaka out and Tierney 50-50. So in terms of my predicted 11 for Sunday, I am going to go with what we've seen against Aston Villa and what we've seen against Leicester. I think, again, barring any injuries that we don't know about or fitness issues that we don't know about, I think Arteta is going to keep the same 11 for the third successive Premier League game. So that is going to be Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, Tavares, Sambi, Partey, Smith Rowe, Saka, Aubameyang and Lacazette. I just can't really see, unless he does decide to start Tierney, I don't really see what changes he's going to make there. Maybe Odegaard is the one. I think when you look at that starting 11 at the moment, you can pick it like that if everyone is fit. And Tierney will obviously be the back four when everyone is fit and he's fully available. But other than that, I think the only one that you can at the moment really rotate between is Odegaard and Lacazette. And Lacazette's in such good form at the moment, I think he starts. But if he does have a little drop off, then I think Odegaard will come back into the team. And that's the one position that certainly until Xhaka is back and at the end of in the start of next year, that we're going to see too much rotation in, because Mikel knows his starting 11 now. He knows his best team, I think, and he settled on this formation that we're seeing. And I can't see, certainly if results continue to go the way they are, that it's going to that things are going to change. So for once, we're looking at a very settled Arsenal lineup. So just again, my predicted 11: Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, Tavares, Sambi, Thomas Partey, Emile Smith Rowe, Bukayo Saka, Alexander Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang leading at the line. Right, thank you for watching, everyone. Appreciate your time as always. Do enjoy the rest of your Friday. Bonfire night tonight, fireworks night tonight. Go out, enjoy that. I'm going to be freezing at 1 tomorrow night with my kids. And then obviously we'll be at the game on Sunday, so watch out for all the usual stuff. I'll try and do my live broadcast before the game, ratings afterwards. And so yeah, enjoy your weekend, everyone. I'll speak to you soon.